Hello, I'm Betsy Berkhemer Clayton, and I'm CEO of Berkhemer Clayton, which is a boutique retained executive search firm based in Los Angeles. We're celebrating 30 years in business, and we have offices in Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and Mexico City. We handle national executive searches for organizations seeking senior leaders in finance, marketing, corporate communications, human resources, and quantum technology. So over these 30 years, we've developed treasured friends through our business. And today we would like to salute one of our special corporate clients. He's David Eads, Chief Executive Officer at Pasadena Tournament of Roses. And we placed David there about 6.5 years ago. So David, I'm so happy to spend a few minutes together. Please tell our audience about your role at Pasadena Tournament of Roses and what you do.
Well, thank you, Betsy. Great to see you as always. So, in my role as CEO, I lead a professional team of about 35 individuals. And our goal is, every year we produce America's New Year celebration, both the Rose Parade as well as the Rose Bowl game. I work closely with our executive committee, as well as our board and directors in really implementing the policies of the organization and working to achieve the goals of our strategic plan. And I have a terrific team that I get to work with every day, as well as our 935 volunteers that work year-round to produce both the parade and the games. So really fortunate. I'm the only one that gets to do what I do every day, and that is to lead the Tournament of Roses and the work that we do as we move towards New Year's Day.
And you have a worldwide audience, don't you?
Yes, the Rose Parade right now is telecast in about 70 countries around the world. It's live throughout Central South America, and then it's tape delayed in Asia and Africa and Europe. But we really are a global institution when it comes to to our parade broadcast.
It's a wonderful event. And as you said, it is America's New Year's celebration. And so many people get up early to watch the parade game every New Year's Day. So, David, you're a fantastic leader. Not only all those volunteers, but your staff, your team, and the many, many people who are involved in creating the floats and the game itself. So you must have some thoughts about leadership. Could you give us some keys to what you think good leaders should be, and perhaps your advice as to how you are a leader every day?
Sure. I think leadership really means inspiring others to achieve your desired outcomes. It's really about inspiration. But effective leadership needs not only the inspiring part of it, but also then aligning the team, aligning the resources, and then moving forward and activating to accomplish whatever those goals are. So, I think there's certain characteristics that every leader has. Not sure I have all of them, but I try, right? So first, you've got to have that ability to influence others, right? Again, to have a vision. And that does require a lot of trust. Trust with your staff, with your team, with your board. Transparency is so important today. And again, that's part of building that trust is to really be transparent so everybody is rowing in the boat in the same direction. Um, you've got to encourage risk taking and innovation, and that's something here at the tournament that we've really tried to focus on over the past 4 or 5 years. We've been around for 135 years, so it's easy to do what we've always done, but the world has changed dramatically. Our environment that we work in has changed dramatically. So we have to take some risks and be innovative. You know, Everybody has to act with integrity and accountability. That's probably the top priority that I would look for in my team members is in strong integrity. And then holding people accountable to do the work that they need to do. And then when it comes time to act decisively, that's really key as well, right? We had to make a decision during the pandemic in 2020, mid 2020, to cancel the Rose Parade for only the second time in 135 years. And that was a really hard decision. But I had to work with my board in a very decisive way that this is the right thing to do and then move forward and not second guess what we were doing. And then I think finally you have to be resilient because not all the the decisions you make are going to be the right decisions, right? But you have to be able to pivot and change and adapt to those decisions. So I think those are some of the key characteristics of an effective leader that I try to implement every day.
Excellent, excellent advice. And you know, work on the Tournament of Roses year round, day in, day out, not just the 2 weeks before New Year's. Do you find that it's hard to maintain the momentum throughout the year and keep everybody, as you say, rowing in the same direction in the boat?
It's one of these things where we go through ups and downs, right? People think after the parade on January 1st that we take a month or two off, and that's totally inaccurate. We're more busy in January than we were in December because we have all of our wrap up that we do. And then we kind of launch into the new year with float sales and sponsorship sales in February. So we're extremely busy at that time of year. Yeah, there's a little downtime as you move maybe into June and July, but then all of a sudden, August and September, we move into what we call parade season and game season, when all of the planning you've been doing for the past 6 months, you start to implement, whether that's our Grand Marshal announcement, whether that's our Queen and Court tryouts, that's announcements of all of our floats and bands and equestrian units. So there are some ups and downs, but it is a full-time job here. At the end of the day, I'm managing about $110 million budget that is composed of both the parade and the game. And so it does take our team working year round to accomplish our strategic goals.
Well, it's a great event. And could you just add how many floats are in the parade and how many equestrian units and how many bands?
Yeah, so typically there's around 80 to 85 units in the parade. We're limited by a 2-hour time frame. That's our television window with our broadcast partners. So in a given year, we have around 44 to 45 floral floats. We typically have around 20 marching bands that are composed of both international entries as well as domestic entries from both high schools and colleges. And then there's anywhere from 15 to 18 equestrian units that go back within our history to 1890 with the first parade. And then we have what we call our tournament entries, which are like our Grand Marshal or our association president or the mayor of Pasadena. Those are what we call tournament entries. And we typically have about 5 or 6 tournament entries.
Oh, it's a fantastic story. Well, David, thank you so much for your time and your pointers about leadership because everybody who had run small events or large organizations and many with volunteers, especially as a nonprofit organization as you are, can use that valuable advice and watch the parade and game on New Year's Day. So.
Absolutely. We want everybody to tune in. So tune in, please.
Thank you, David. I'm so glad we placed you at the Tournament of Roses so many years ago. It's great to see you. Have a good day.